feel like it would be somewhat surprising if they canceled it. I mean, they're a company where if they get a lot of backlash and lose some fans, I don't think that's really going to put a dent in their bottom line. So contractually, they're going to do it, and they have a very big following there. So I think it's going to be a good show, albeit it's going to have some backlash to it. Not sure if I'm going to be able to watch it, but there are some matches on the card that I'm definitely excited for.
Yeah. Now, what are your personal thoughts on it? If you were the WWE, are you one of those type of yes, that is Bill Apter's kid, Mr. Wrestling. That is. Are you one of those people that are like F Crown Jewel canceled my network subscription type of person, or are you just kind of, you know what, WWE is going to do what they got to do?
Yeah, I don't really. It's an absolute tragedy what happened over there. What's being, the part of the whole, they should cancel it or make it in a different city. And again, super tragic event, but personally, I don't really have a whole lot of personal feelings about it. It's just, it kind of
Do
is
you
what it
think
is. It's how they operate. Yep.
do you think guys are overreacting a bit?
I don't think so. Really, I think everybody's going to have their own reactions to it, and I think everybody's is warranted, whether they're saying other people overreacting or they say that they're going to cancel their subscription or anything. It's a shame that this whole thing happened. But when this might be a really bad comparison, but after tragedies that happen around the world in America, you look to sports to bring people together.
Okay.
So I look at it kind of like this. It's an absolutely tragic situation that happened over in Saudi Arabia, but ideally, the passion and love for wrestling in that country brings people together, and it's still a successful event.
I agree with you. Thank you, Juanito, for these very generous super hearts, and thank you, Doctor Huge, as well. Um, Lloyd Strickland said it's not political; it's entertainment. It'll be fine. They want WWE there. Absolutely, I agree with you. Now, I put out a poll on our Twitter account this afternoon about Crown Jewel, and are you watching? And the four slots were yes, watching live, yes, but not live, won't watch at all, or F Crown Jewel all together. What do you think was the leading poll winner, Dave, with 64 votes so far?
I would say yes.
Yes, what? Watching live or not live?
Probably not live.
What about you, After?
I'm gonna say not watching in
No,
general.
actually, 44% yes, watching live, 20% yes, but not live, 8%
Wow.
won't watch at all, and 28% saying F Crown Jewel. So that's just interesting that the fans, I think, had
Wow.
their mind made up at the beginning when this was announced that they were going to go to it or not, so or watch it or not. And I'm in particular, or not, it is what it is. WWE is going to do what they have to do. It's a business, like you said, and they weren't going to take that hit from losing all that money. So it's going to be an interesting show. I'm actually kind of interested to see what happens tomorrow night, or excuse me, tomorrow afternoon. And let's see how that goes. And were you ready to start the show and ready to get these predictions going? I was actually just kind of curious what Apter's thoughts were because I haven't talked to Brandon Apter about this whole situation. All right,
We've
so
been too busy playing Fortnite,
yeah,
dealing with that.
yeah, Fortnite, yeah, exactly. All right, so we have Nakamura Rusev for the United States Championship. That is going to be on the pre-show that was announced today, actually. Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman, obviously, for the championship. We have DX versus the Brothers of Destruction. The Bar taking on New Day for the SmackDown Live titles. Then we have the World Cup tournament, as you guys can see on the corner of the screen. We have Dolph Ziggler taking on Kurt Angle in the first round. Jeff Hardy taking on The Miz. Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. And Seth Rollins taking on Bobby Lashley. So, is that your dad in the chat, Mister Brandon Apter?
What do you mean?
in the chat room?
I don't know.
Oh man, if it is, it's a pleasure. If not, nice. Thank you for coming
You
anyways.
mean Mr. Wrestling number one?
Wrestling number one, yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
It could be.
Actually, yeah, looks like it.
Oh well, thank you for taking time out of your day to come in here, or night, I should say. So we're going after first, and I have a feeling I know what this answer is going to be, but we'll go with you first. What match are you most looking forward to the most?
Well, I think the match that I'm most excited at is the one that I hope potentially happens from the World Cup.
Is that
So I don't have a favorite
Randy
match.
Orton?
I don't have a favorite match that is currently on the card, but I'm hoping with the way that Crown Jewel unfolds that I will get to see. But I want to make that prediction when we talk about the World Cup. I don't want to say it now. So I'd say on the main card that the one that I'm probably looking most forward to is probably Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. I really like their
I
last
forgot
match,
to mention that match. My goodness.
and I think that's it's going to be cool to see their rivalry continue. But I think I'm looking more forward to the one to the 8-man tournament than any of the others.
Now, also, I don't know if you heard about this after, because I know you don't watch SmackDown Live all the time, but Shane McMahon added a little twist to the tournament, saying if any SmackDown finalists go to the finals and lose to a Raw guy, they will be fired from SmackDown. So
Interesting.
just keep that in mind when you're making your predictions later on. Young Graph tomorrow it starts at 12 Eastern, 11 Eastern is the pre-show. What about you, Dave? What match looking forward to?
That's a tough one. I'm kind of with Apter on this. I mean, there's potential matches, but I am excited because I ain't seen him really wrestle that much. But I'm just excited to see Rey Mysterio, honestly. So that's kind of cool to see him involved again. So there's some matches with Rey that I will talk about in the predictions, but there isn't really too many matches on this card I'm looking forward to seeing because at first we were gonna see a dream match sort of for some people seeing AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. Well, we already seen that on SmackDown, and we've already seen Samoa Joe and AJ Styles for like the last 2 or 3 months. So it's like that. I'm sure it'll be a good match. Just not really super excited for it.
If we get like Jeff Hardy, Kurt Angle, I'm just straight up turning off the show right away.
All right, so we'll go through the list of matches how I have it on here. So number one is the opening match on the pre-show, which is Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Rusev for the United States Championship. This was added today. Yes, thank you, Mr. Bill Apter. And also Hulk Hogan is supposedly going to be the host of WWE Crown Jewel tomorrow. I guess he's taking the place of John Cena. Yes, we all know Monday Night Raw. They announced that John Cena will be replaced from the Crown Jewel by Bobby Lashley. They didn't go.
Hopefully, we don't have to deal with Leo Rush.
I don't know if he's going with them, but that is funny that he annoys you that much that you don't want him to be on the show with him. But Lashley is taking the place of John Cena, so that should be interesting to see how that goes tomorrow afternoon. Now, Hulk Hogan, the host. What's your thoughts on this, Brandon? Out there, I know there's been a lot of backlash, heat between fans and Hulk Hogan, between the whole racial remarks and how some people don't even think he should be back with the WWE and all this type of stuff. What are your thoughts on this? Are you excited to see him tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see him, and I think there's obviously going to be a lot of we keep saying backlash like we're talking about WWE Backlash, one of the pay-per-views. But it's just it's like adding insult to injury for the people that don't want them to have this event. You throw Hulk Hogan in there, but shameless plug here. If you listen to the first couple of episodes of Bill Apter's new podcast, the Apter Chat, he actually talks to Hulk Hogan and talks about that whole incident and really opens up and is honest about it. And he's going to be someone who's correlated with WWE, whether he's there or not. and I'm excited to see him back in a WWE arena. His first time since 2015, and hopefully it goes over well. But I'm excited, but I understand why people wouldn't like it. But hopefully the majority gives him a second chance, and we can move on, and he can be a part of the organization moving forward.
Well, yeah, exactly. And when I think of Hulk Hogan, he was the first wrestler I was a fan of. I remember watching him growing up, crying when I saw Earthquake like knock him, do those earthquake splashes on him. He's getting stretchered out. That's Hulk Hogan is, when I think of wrestling, Hulk Hogan comes to mind right away. And I know he's had the bad past, but I think it's kind of time to forgive him. I mean, it's been I don't know how many years already. I think it's time to kind of move on. If it happens again, then we can talk about it. But I just think, come on, man, let Hogan live his life. Don't hold that dark cloud over his head for so long. What about you, Dave?
How about Hulk Hogan coming back?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's gonna have their own opinion on this. There's gonna be people who say, you know what, yes, he deserves to be back, and there's gonna be people who will always say, no, we don't want him back. He's a racist and all that. So there's always gonna be a split with this kind of situation. So there's gonna be some people who say definitely yes, and there's gonna be a majority who say no, we don't want him back. WE celebrating racism and all that. That's what they're gonna say. So for me personally, I mean, I get if you don't want him back, and I understand if you do want him back. But will it be that where they're going to be at? He's going to get I would assume, a huge pop in Saudi Arabia, or sorry, the global event,
Parts
not
unknown.
Saudi Arabia.
Parts unknown.
Yeah, okay, parts unknown. But yeah, but yeah, I think it'll be. He'll get a great reaction, and it'll be.
Imagine
what it is.
Hogan's going to get tomorrow afternoon when he comes out there, and I don't
If
know
everyone
what
isn't taking pictures of themselves.
right. Well, I mean, Hulk Hogan's Hulk Hogan, man. I think they would stop doing what they're doing and watch what he's doing. Now, yeah, exactly. People, I don't. WWE does not need Hulk Hogan at all. But if you're the Saudi fans, and I'm not trying to, we're not going to get into those details with all that stuff. But you were expecting Roman Reigns, you were expecting John Cena, you were expecting Daniel Bryan, and those guys are wiped off the show. Now, Hulk Hogan, as much as WWE doesn't need him, he's a nice little substitute or a nice little, side piece, if you want to say, to have going to Crown Jewel with you. And
Hogan's a side piece.
Hogan will definitely get the
It's rough
crowd.
terminology there.
Yeah, and Hogan will get the crowd going, and the crowd will be excited to see him. And
yeah, I'm excited to see what the crowd reaction is to that.
Yeah, let's be honest though. I mean, this isn't like it's some straight. Yes, I'm sure there'll be wrestling fans there, but this is just basically a bunch of rich people who are going to rent out the front row, and it's not like it's I don't know. I don't know how they. I mean, they have good reactions, but when I remember watching the Greatest Rumble, all I remember seeing is a bunch of people standing up taking pictures of themselves. That's all I remember.
Yeah, I think. But wasn't when Undertaker wrestled on that card, correct? Yes, Rusev. I don't remember how the crowd reacted towards the Undertaker, but how was it when he came out? They were pretty starstruck, wasn't it? Weren't they?
I have no idea. When was that? Like in March?
Yeah,
it's a long time ago.
But I'm sure they'll have the same type of reaction towards Hulk Hogan.
I think Australia reacted to him pretty good.
Thank you, Young Graf. Thank you, everybody, for those super hearts. Thank you for the hearts, and thank you for everybody joining us tonight. Really appreciate you guys popping in for these quick predictions, even though they're not really going quick. First match of the night, Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Rusev for the United States Championship. I think this is an easy one. Do you see Rusev pulling off the upset and gaining the United States Championship, Brandon Apter?
Yeah, I'm going Rusev on this. Rusev Day in Saudi Arabia, and there's no better way or no better place for him to finally win it on Rusev Day. I think these guys they're kind of struggling to find anything to do with them, and I think just a change of pace would be nice. So I think pre-show title change is going to happen.
Someone says, "Who cares?" BW Universe says, Bill After in the chat says, Hulk news of his problems weren't probably not covered there. He will get an iconic pop," he says. So, all right, there that comes from
Okay.
the legendary
Hey,
Bill After himself. Let's see. How big is the stadium capacity wise? I'm not sure. I haven't looked that up. Let me see if it says it here. If anybody knows off the top of their head, if
Tony,
you
with regard to what you were saying earlier, like how do you think that they're going to say that they're in Saudi Arabia? I wouldn't be surprised if they just say WWE Crown Jewel like they have been saying.
and
Like
they
I
just
wouldn't be surprised to like they might have it as an overlay when the show starts, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't mention it again
well,
since
they
then.
also been saying like this global event. They've been using global event a lot too, so they might even go that route too.
yeah,
Like,
it doesn't
welcome to.
say how much it holds on here. 50,000, someone says in the chat room. Did Saudi people even have TVs to see Hulk Hogan in the 80s? Just wondering. I'm gonna imagine they know who Hulk Hogan is. I saw a rumored Starcade card, and Shinsuke is labeled as champion. All right. Yeah, I think Nakamura is gonna face Seth Rollins at Survivor Series as well. I don't know if you noticed that, Brandon, after that, they're having champion versus champion at Survivor Series.
I
So there's a
did.
potential of Seth Rollins taking on Nakamura. What about you, Dave? Do we see an upset here with Rusev winning? Yes, the event is sold out. Crown Jewel.
I mean, you could. I mean, this is probably the one title on Smack. They haven't used Nakamura at all, really. Just he hasn't done no rivalries. He hasn't done anything with the title at all. And he's just been facing R-Truth the last couple months on TV, and that's been about it. So, I mean, is it time for a change? Yeah, maybe. Or maybe they want to do Seth Rollins versus Nakamura. I don't know how good that would go, but I mean, it's possible. I mean, it doesn't really matter to anybody, I don't think, because it's like Nakamura's run has been so bad. So if he loses it, no one will really care.
And I think also too is that with the way Rusev has been portrayed these last couple of years and his whole career in WWE, I don't think anybody thinks he has a chance to go and
And
I
and
want
that
it to
would be the
happen,
big.
but it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it would be the big surprise though. No one would see a new champion come. Well, you will with the Universal title, I guess. So that'd be your new champion on the show. But I mean, if you want to go like, hey, tune into this event where you're seeing a new United States champion, I mean, that would be a great way to start. I mean, hey, on the pre-show, you got a new champion, so maybe another title will change hands tonight. So that's how they used to really do it to get you into the pay-per-views back in the day, like Sunday Night Heat or whatever. They would have a title change right before it, and then, ooh, you never know what's gonna happen.
have to go and take this mask off. Great show and great predictions. That's for thank you, Bill Apter, the legendary Bill Apter, for joining us tonight. Thank you so much for taking time and coming in here. And appreciate you, Brandon. Apter, have any last words to say?
No. I have nothing. Thanks, Dad. Have
Get
a good
out of
night.
here. Shoot.
See
All
you.
right.
See you at Thanksgiving.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. Appreciate the kind words there. Thank you very much. I think WWE is missing the potential of an NXT title War Games match. It'll be perfect.
I thought that said NXT Titty War.
Wrong era. Wrong era.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh gosh.
What the hell am I watching?
That's funny. All right. Next, we'll go with the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. We have the Bar taking on the New Day. The Bar just recently won the tag team titles, I think maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago on SmackDown Live. Do we see the New Day retain those tag team titles, or do the Bar go on and keep the titles? We'll go with you first, Brandon. What do you think?
I don't really have a whole lot of thoughts on this one. Not only because I don't really watch SmackDown Live a whole lot, but I mean, I just don't care. So I mean, I think I'm gonna Jay Rary's 90 says the Bar retains, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate and say New Day gets the titles back.
Okay. All right. That'll be interesting. It was supposed to be Taker versus Y2J. Prince wanted Rusev. That's how obsessed he is with him. Interesting. I don't think Jericho wanted to go either. I believe. I think I read that. What about you, Dave? What about you? What do you think?
New Day wins because Big Show turns again. No, I'm
Oh
kidding.
no! Oh my!
Imagine that though.
Oh, man.
But I would say the Bar would have to keep the titles. There's no sense of making them lose the titles in Saudi Arabia. So there you go. Or parts unknown. My bad.
Yeah, that's funny. If the Big Show did turn on the Bar, yeah, and I can understand why a lot of people are tired. It seems like the same guys are in the title picture on SmackDown Live, and I can see why certain feuds are kind of bleh already. I think even if you do a New Day and the Usos, I think people would still be like, I'm kind of tired of this match already. But I think the Bar retain and go on to face probably the Usos in their next coming feud. Because I don't know
Why
what.
not give Sanity a chance on TV? Jeez.
Because
We're,
that would make way too much sense, Dave.
exactly, and we're gonna touch on. We're gonna touch more on Sanity on Saturday because they have been doing a lot of stuff on Twitter. And I don't know if you
Oh
guys
wow.
have been noticing at all. So we'll be touching on that on
Nope.
Saturday. So let's get to some of these World Cup matches because the next two matches are the big dog, I guess you want to say, with the DX Brothers of Destruction and Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. So here we go. We got the World Cup tournament action going on. Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Kurt Angle, Dolph Ziggler, Jeff Hardy, The Miz, Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton. So we'll go with the Raw side first. Rollins, Lashley. Who you got after?
I'm gonna have to go with Seth Rollins here.
Seth Rollins. Okay.
Yeah.
Dave?
I think Lashley because I think either Leo Rush or Dean Ambrose is going to get involved in this match and cost Rollins the match.
Okay. What about the next match? We have Kurt Angle taking on Dolph Ziggler.
Whoa.
What do you got after? What do you got?
This one's tough because I think Ziggler should win, but I feel like Angle doing the whole angle of him being what did he dress up as?
Oh, El Conquistador.
The Conquistador, doing all that to get into this World Cup. This one's going to be tough because I'm trying to view it from like a wrestling standpoint and like a other standpoint. So, I'm gonna say Dolph Ziggler wins this and will be treated to another one of Dave's favorites, Rollins versus Ziggler, for the 70,000th time.
I think that's a little higher though, but okay.
I'm gonna go with Lashley. Lashley. Man, have you seen? There was he did an Instagram live, and it was just him eating chocolates and chanting Lashley. It was beautiful, dude. I
just don't like that he does it during the matches. Lashley.
They need to come out with a shirt that just says
annoyingly perfect.
It's good. He's doing, like I've said, man. He's all right. That's not the time or place for that. We'll touch on Saturday. All right, go to the SmackDown Live. Hey. Yes.
Can I give my thoughts on?
Did I skip you, Dave? I'm sorry. Angle, Ziggler. Who you got?
I'm going Angle because there'd be no point of having him do all that to not do anything. And I want to see a rematch in the WWE, so why not? We've seen it in TNA a lot, so Bobby Lashley versus Kurt Angle.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. That would be an interesting match right there. So after has Ziggler and Rollins, and there you go. We'll be hearing that song at the end of the night on end of the afternoon tomorrow after Crown Jewel's World Cup tournament ends.
Tony,
yes.
I was just gonna say really, is it afternoon or is it afternoon?
Ooh, I like that. SmackDown Live time. Jeff Hardy, The Miz. Brandon, who do you got?
I think I'm going to go with Jeff Hardy on this one. I want to say The Miz, but I'm going to go Jeff Hardy.
Okay. Dave?
I would love to say Jeff Hardy wins because I really do like Jeff Hardy, but I think The Miz wins.
Okay, Bob Ruski said, I think Kurt is going to almost the finals. They could do the American Hero celebrating. A comeback story for Angle, it's looking like. Yeah, that's a good point. Especially since
I feel like his last few matches, though, have been very painful to watch.
Cricket says, Adam awesome. I don't think he gives a shit about this at all. All right, Mysterio Orton, a classic rivalry reborn tomorrow afternoon. After who you got?
I mean, I got to go Rey Mysterio here. It's favoritism. I don't really care. Rey Mysterio, going with him.
You have in the next round Jeff Hardy taking on Rey Mysterio. All right, what about you, Dave?
I actually have the Miz taking on Jeff Hart, or Miz taking on Rey Mysterio.
Okay. All right, so both of you guys got Rey Mysterio advancing. So we got afters Seth Rollins taking on Dolph Ziggler. Who you got advancing to the finals?
If they're trying to crown the best in the world, I have to go with Seth Rollins here.
Okay. Dave, you have
Um,
people taking
I,
on Ashley.
I can't get enough of that.
I think because you know what, I want to go with the heels, but I just think where they're at, they're gonna go all faces. So I think Angle's gonna win.
Okay, so you got Angle coming out from the Raw side. All right. After Jeff Hardy taking on Rey Mysterio, who you
Rey
got?
Mysterio.
So you got Rey Mysterio taking on Kurt Angle in the final.
No, I have Rey Mysterio against
Taking on
Seth
Seth
Rollins in the
Rollins.
finals.
Excuse me, Seth Rollins in the finals.
If that
Woo-hoo!
isn't a match that everybody wants to see, I don't know what the hell is going on.
That could be a really good match right there, and that is a definite match I could
That's what I
see.
was saying before. This is the match that would be my favorite match if it happens.
Yeah, and CPW in Universe says if a SmackDown loses, he is fired. I think if it's that finals, I think Rollins loses because of
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose, definitely.
Mm.
All right,
Dean
Dave.
Ambrose ain't in it, but okay.
No, he'll call Seth Rollins.
Oh, okay. What is this? See, like I said, Ray versus the Miz now, right? Okay. Yeah, I would say the Miz is gonna win it if this is any other wrestling event, because it would make sense for Miz to be the best in the world just to rub it in everyone's face. But at this kind of event, it makes me think they want to send these fans happy with all those millions and billions of dollars they're paying the WE. So I think Ray would go on to take on Kurt Angle for a rematch.
Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. All right. So, do you guys both have Rey Mysterio winning the World Cup?
I didn't know about the firing part. So I was going to go with. I was going to say burn it down, but Tony, I like your angle of Dean Ambrose coming in and interfering in some way to cost Rollins the title or the crown jewel, and Rey Mysterio wins. I think that would be a good thing, and I think it would be like Rey Mysterio isn't already over enough like anywhere. I think getting him back on the top, and he is one of the best in the world. I mean, look at his career. He's one of like the most decorated luchadors of all time. So I'm gonna go Rey Mysterio.
All right, Dave.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a classic, and man, it's tough because because where this is gonna be at. Are you gonna really have the American hero standing there in Saudi Arabia winning the match? I mean, that's possible. I mean, but I want to see. I'm a big fan of Rey Mysterio, so I want to see him win this just because. But if they were going the other route and this is anywhere else, I would say Miz goes all the way and wins it. But I think they're going to go faces, and they're going to try and make it some type of dream match, two faces versus each other. So, heck, even Jeff Hardy and Ray would be awesome. But, yeah, or that couldn't happen anyway. But Rollins and Ray would be good. But, yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun. I do say Ray wins.
I think
what about you, Tony? What's your thing?
to win it all, I'm gonna go with Kurt Angle. I think Kurt Angle wins it all, and they're gonna have that
The confetti fall
moment for Kurt Angle. It's gonna be like I think Lloyd Strickland said it's the comeback party for Kurt Angle because he's wrestling at Survivor Series. That's gonna happen. He's either gonna have a team or he's facing Baron Corbin. So you got to make it look like he can go out there and look like a legit opponent towards Baron Corbin.
Yeah, but he could also, if he loses it, Baron Corbin can rub that in his face. Yeah, if I would have been in the tournament, I would have won it. You couldn't even win it, Kurt Angle.
Yeah. I mean, it could go either way. A lot of people, like I think someone in the chat said maybe Baron Corbin cost Angle the match. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. during that World Cup tournament. See what happens if Dean Ambrose gets involved, or if Lashley wins, or what happens. We'll see. So you don't think
Who?
Baron Corbin will get involved and cost Angle the match?
If who
If
wins?
Lashley, I think if we get
You gotta say it more than once, Tony.
if Angle gets in the finals, I don't see why we
Say it
wouldn't.
more than once, puppet.
But
Okay.
has Baron Corbin been really feuding with Angle as of late? I
No.
don't. It's more against now Elias. So he's turning
I
more of
love
his.
that, by the way. Elias Corbin, that's fantastic stuff.
So I know that it's apparent to see Angle versus Corbin in the future, but maybe Corbin's not worried about Kurt Angle at the moment. We got to see, and we'll see what
That's a
happens.
good thing. Survivor Series is Raw versus SmackDown, so they might not have that happen at Survivor Series.
Yes, that is very true. Okay, so we got the big dog matches left. We got the SmackDown Live World Title, Raw World Title, and then the everybody's match. I'm sure everybody's looking forward to the DX versus the Brothers of Destruction.
Did you just call these the big dog matches?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the big dog matches, because these are the main 4 matches that, have been really advertised. Well, other than AJ and Samoa Joe. Can't really count that. So we'll go with that match first. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe for the SmackDown Live World Title was made this past Tuesday because Daniel Bryan was taken off Crown Jewel for certain reasons we'll get into on Saturday. Who do you got? We'll go with Apter first.
I'm gonna say Styles retains here. After them feuding for that long, I feel like obviously Daniel Bryan not going to Crown Jewel, so this is more or less like a last minute thing to happen. So I would be very surprised if they ended up having Samoa Joe win the title here. So I think AJ retains. And I mean, ideally, we get a good match. It's not one of those like last man standings or anything like that, or no disqualifications, right? It's just regular.
Yeah, just a regular old match.
Yeah, so hopefully it's good. It has some emotion to it, and again, Styles retains.
All right, and they've been really playing up his title reign, and I think on Instagram they even said that he's hit the top 10 list already. So I see him retaining as well. What about you, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, he's next week? I think he breaks the record next week. So, yeah, I think, I think he keeps the title. This is like Apter said, it's only, what? Yeah, it's just a filler, just a last minute filler. Like, okay, Joe, go in, take his place. I mean, that's basically all it was. And so it's like a meaningless match in a way. I mean, good for Joe to get on the card, but I just don't think it's going to really lead to nothing. And I just hope it just ends in a clean finish. AJ wins clean. We don't get another draw or they have to continue to go on another match. I just hope we don't go there.
Right. I think it's time for both these guys to move on to more. I wonder who Styles will feud with next. Because it looks like he'll probably will be facing either Brock Lesnar or Braun Strowman at Survivor Series. But I wonder who he'll be feuding next with on SmackDown Live. That's going to be the interesting question right there. All right, 2 more matches to talk about. We got Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, and then the tag match. Let's go with the tag match first. We got Degeneration X, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels taking on the Brothers of Destruction of The Undertaker and Kane. Who do you got, Apter?
Yeah, I almost feel like I care more about the bar against a New Day than this crap.
Damn.
So with full discretion of me, like legitimately, if I'm watching this live, I'm not like going to pay attention to this one. I think Triple H and Shawn Michaels win.
That's a definition of shitting on a match, everybody, right there.
I don't. Yeah, I think if I would be more excited for it if they didn't like the Super Show and everything, like the video pieces leading up to it. Like it's just too much. It's like oversaturation, and
I got you. Dave?
See, I think since Triple H won at the other show, I think Undertaker and Kane actually win this one. And I think it'll probably be like Shawn Michaels taking a bump and Shawn Michaels realizing, oh, I can still do this, so let's go to WrestleMania.
Really.
something like that. Or maybe you go the other route where Shawn Michaels pins the Undertaker 1, 2, 3, and he says, "I can beat you. Let's do it again for the third time at WrestleMania."
Oh man,
But I would say
I
Brothers of
know that's
Destruction.
not to be mean, but I hope they all get hurt so we don't see them wrestling anymore. Damn.
Well, it's likely just walking down the ramp, they might all pull a hip.
I mean, especially Kane. He looks fucking, excuse my language, but he's super overweight, man. He looks like he's out of shape big time. And he's a mayor. He shouldn't have been.
And both of them do. I think it's just painful watching both of them wrestle in general.
Now,
Yeah.
now, I'm gonna ask you a question here. After now, seeing that Kane is a mayor and all that, are you surprised he's going to the show?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
No, he was. I mean, the payday he's getting. You think he cares?
The
Probably
backlash
not.
doesn't matter to Kane. I don't even think he's gotten any backlash from. That's what I'm surprised is. As much backlash people are giving WWE, they haven't mentioned that Kane's a mayor and all that stuff. So, all right.
Hey, you know what? I bet you WWE's a big contributor to his mayoral campaign.
Oh, no doubt. Why isn't John Cena going to be there? Because John Cena is not comfortable with everything affiliated with the Saudi Arabia stuff going on, and he doesn't want it to be a dark cloud over on him. So he's just avoiding the whole situation in general. Yeah. So I don't think he really cares too much about performing in front of Saudi Arabia or not. I think he's okay money-wise as well. All right, main event time, everybody. We got Brock Lesnar.
Oh, wait. That wasn't the main event?
No, that's not the main
Shocking.
event. We got one more match. I'm thinking this will be the main event. I'm assuming. We got Braun Strowman taking on Brock Lesnar for the Raw Universal Championship. Do we see a new champion as in Braun Strowman, or do we see the same champion once again and Brock Lesnar? We'll go with you, Brandon, after.
I want Dave to go first. I'm still thinking.
Okay, take your time. Take your time, Dave.
Well, it'll still be a new champion regardless, but I think
new champion means Braun. That's a new champion.
Well, no one's a champion, so Brock would be a new champion too. But
no.
Yes,
Brock
yes.
Is not a new champ. Technically, he's new, yes, but he's not a new champion. He will be the same champion we've gotten. Like what? We haven't had him as champ for 4 months, so maybe longer.
Well, enjoy it because it's going to be Brock Lesnar. I mean, I said this before. I mean, when Reigns was there as Universal Champion on Raw, did it really matter? It didn't. They still had the same matches. So, I mean, yeah, I think Brock's going to be champion, and it's not really going to matter because there's one proven thing with Brock Lesnar. He draws. He draws money.
You see even no matter how sick people are of him, you see the pop that he got this past week on Raw. I mean,
he got a pretty huge pop on the Monday night when he was on there for just the opening act on Raw. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. You got Brock Lesnar coming out as a champ, and we've been reading rumors that maybe McIntyre gets involved. Maybe Vince finally sees Braun Strowman as a company guy now. We've heard all those type of news. Or Brock Lesnar is just going to win it again because he's that high of a draw, apparently.
I mean, he is. I mean, you could easily go Drew and Braun feuding with each other for a shot at Brock Lesnar. And then there you go.
Yeah, that is true. All right, after.
Well, okay. I'm gonna go with Braun Strowman here, just because I think the WWE will make a smart decision for once in their life. So, I mean, we really don't know how often Brock's going to be there, and I know that's kind of been his championship run, but I mean, Strowman has been at the top of the heavyweight or universal division for quite some time now, and I think putting the belt on him and then running off the Drew Braun Strowman feud that we've been seeing would be the smart way to go, because if Brock's not going to be there, then what is a Drew and Braun feud really even worth? So I think Braun wins it, and then we get to see a building feud of Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman, which should be good.
Yeah, but
So
once you go there, I mean, say Braun wins it and you have Drew versus Braun for the title. I mean, what do you do after that for Braun? I mean, there really
How many
isn't a.
times have we seen Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles or Roman
Hey, I
Reigns versus
agree.
Brock Lesnar? So I think it's a match that can be recycled.
yeah, and what do we say when this whole tough bad news came out with Roman Reigns that the slate is clean and the it's open field for everybody on that main Raw roster. It could
Except
be
Finn Balor.
except for Finn Balor, of course. So Finn Balor should go to 205 Live, like I've been saying. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is that everybody has a shot. So just because Brock loses and it's Braun now, there's so many other people that you can throw out at Braun now. You could even throw maybe Dean
Okay,
Ambrose in the future. You can throw out, other guys that they finally want to throw out opportunities to. Maybe even Baron Corbin. It's got to happen. They have to start trusting who they have on that roster and giving them chances, because if they don't, they're going to be stuck. And it's
yeah,
going
but
to.
their problem is, I think, you guys can disagree with me if you want, but they haven't done anything to build up anyone but Roman Reigns. I mean, they have, unless you're Rollins or Ambrose, but besides those three guys, they haven't done nothing to build up anyone else on that level. They're doing it a little bit with Drew right now, but other than that, who have they legitimately made look like could be a world champion? I can't really think of anyone.
Can also possibly get a title shot down the line.
Who?
Kurt
Who?
Angle. Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
Or,
I mean,
or Lashley. Lashley.
Lashley? Yeah, I mean, Lashley's a possibility. You're right. Lashley and Strowman.
Okay,
I mean,
here's my
yeah.
question. Here's my question. I'm going to ask after two, and then we'll start wrapping it up. Since this whole involvement with Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush coming together, and I know probably
Lashley.
before this,
Lashley.
we probably gave this probably a 0 to 5% chance of happening. But now, since everything has happened and him teaming up with Leo Rush, what do you think of the percentage of Lashley actually winning the Raw Championship is? We'll go with after first.
What, are we talking about like ever or like when? Like timeline wise?
I would say, timeline lines to say, do you think he'll win it maybe by WrestleMania? Have a
No.
title run. Okay.
No.
Dave?
I think there's a very good chance that since Roman's out for the foreseeable future, and yes, you have Strowman as the new face now, but I mean, I could definitely see them going the route of making Lashley the world champion because they never did the first time around when they had him, and now you got a great mouthpiece behind him. And I think it's definitely, I'm not by WrestleMania, maybe not, but I could definitely see it. Even if it's a short run, I could see something like that because they seem to want to, fix those mistakes they've made in the past by giving guys a title they never actually gave the title to. They kind of like, okay, we should give this guy the title.
Yeah, I mean, I get that he has a mouthpiece and everything, but I just don't think he's that good.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair point. There you go. Some very solid points tonight. Some solid predictions as well. So I hope everybody who is able to watch Crown Jewel tomorrow, if it's live, pre-recorded, however you're going to watch it, I hope everybody enjoys it. Try to ignore the backlash of the Crown Jewel stuff for the past couple of weeks and just enjoy the show. Got a couple of good matches on there. Getting to see Rey Mysterio, Kurt Angle, Hulk Hogan, if you're a fan of him as well. Just got to give it a shot, see how it goes, and we'll be doing our post show of it on Saturday night, giving everybody our thoughts. I think Alex may even join us. I know Brandon Apter won't be able to, but I'll get his little thoughts on it before we go live on Saturday. Is there anything else after you want to throw out there before we end tonight's show? Since you were generous of joining us tonight.
No. But actually, yes. I know we're a couple of weeks or a month removed from my heel turn here at Get the Tables. And considering how enjoyable it was up to that point, I'm very disappointed in everybody in the chat room that just turned their back on me and called me a piece of crap. So to those people, keep on hating.
that was a good moment. if you go back, I think I kept it up. If you go back and look at all like the comments,
Oh yeah,
people
it
are
was
like,
pretty
"What's
great.
going on?" And it was good. It was good. It was nice. But we always appreciate you coming on the show. Yes, DX. Your thoughts after Renee Young being able to commentate Crown Jewel?
Um, the less I have to hear Michael Cole say the letter W, the better.
How do you think that's gonna work with them using her?
I don't think it's going to be any different than what it normally is on Raw.
No, as in showing her in in the arena. Is she gonna have to cover her
Oh,
face?
is it because? Oh yeah, right. Because there's no women's matches or.
There's strict laws with women and stuff like that.
Yeah, they can't show no skin or nothing. Not even allowed to show their face.
Um, yeah, I mean, hopefully she has some really nice turtlenecks and I don't know what to
They show
comment on
comment.
that. I'm sure they'll find out how to do it somehow.
They show like commentate from a disclosed
I
closed
heard they're taking
location and
extra
all dark.
precautions for Renee, says Bob Ruski. Yes, hey, huge cojones to Renee Young for going over there
Um,
and doing the show.
Yeah.
Not the word I would use, but okay.
Well, she got some brass balls, man. That's huge, man. That's showing the WWE something. I bet Vince McMahon has the respect for her probably went through the roof. I would assume, definitely for Triple H, I would expect. But I mean, that takes huge
See,
bravery.
honestly, I don't know. I think it's just WWE trying to do PR. That's what I think it is.
I'm sure. I'm sure that's a little bit of it too.
Oh,
But
look, we have a woman on commentary. Hey, look at this. No women's matches, but we have a woman on commentary. So we're good. We're a
is
part of the
Renee
women's
commentating
movement.
official though, or just a rumor? I don't think they've officially announced it, but everybody's not everybody's favorite, but Ryan Satin would reported that she's supposed to be on the show. So I guess you just got to play by what he says and find out tomorrow if she's on the show at all. I'm not going to
I see
speculate.
that she's not traveling with the rest of the roster. That's the latest I've seen.
The governor, yes, not the fans. Fans love seeing the females. Oh gosh, yeah.
I would trust Brandon over Ryan Satin.
Oh, look at that, Brandon. Did you hear that? He says he trusts you more than Ryan Satin.
I don't even know who that is.
All right,
But
everybody.
thank you, Dave.
We're going to wrap it up tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm sorry that we were a little bit late tonight, but I thank everybody who just popped in and shared our product or shared the show, I should say, and all the hearts from Adam Awesome, Peck and Rod, Bob Aruski, Jody, Mania, Truth and Loyalty, Kevin, Blissside, Jeffrey Cross, Brandon, Pettigo, Ray O, Debbie, Rizzo. Who else is in here? We got Scorpion. We have Skype. I think that's a bot. If I didn't say your name in there, say hello in the chat so I can give you the proper shout out. PW Universe. Lloyd Strickland was in here. Mr. The Legendary Bill Apter even made a cameo appearance. How about that? And it's just been overall great.
He'll be billing you for that, by the way.
Damn it. I had a feeling that was going to happen. But I do appreciate.
Go check out his podcast too, guys, because he has some legends on there.
He's had Hogan 3 times. He's had Sting, Mysterio, and I think he's having Aldis.
Nick Aldis is going to be on the
Aldis.
show.
Yep.
Yeah, so definitely
that's the lowest end of the stars that he's had on the podcast. I mean, nothing. No offense to Nick Aldis, but I mean Hogan, Sting. I mean those.
I'm not going to lie.
Names right there.
Said he was going to come out with a podcast. I didn't think it was going to be something to the lights of this, where such.
Yeah, although I will say this much: it's one of the sponsors is Blue Chew, which is more or less like erectile dysfunction medication. So it's weird to hear my dad talk about erectile dysfunction on that podcast. So.
Oh my god.
If anyone listens to the Eric Bischoff podcast, we hear that Blue Chew a lot.
Yeah.
It's a Conrad thing.
Tell your dad a creative way of advertising it. That'd be great.
He has, and it's unfortunate. I'll leave it at that.
I must have missed it. PW Interview says, "Who's Bill Apter?" You don't know who the legendary Bill Apter is? Just type in Wikipedia who Bill Apter.
Yeah.
You'll see the
You should get blocked for just saying that.
awesome work this man's done. He's done a
I'm
lot of.
sorry, Tony. That person should be blocked just for saying who's Bill after.
He's a great
Don't block him.
he's a great guy. Met him when I went to WrestleMania. Met Brandon Apter as well. So y'all guys know we saw it all. It was all videotaped. It was all
Yeah.
we all witnessed it. So he's a
I
really
remember, Tony. I'll just say something really quick, just to keep putting over Bill After, I guess. But one of the first things I really remember about really noticing Bill After was Beyond the Mat.
Oh yeah, the documentary. Yeah, absolutely.
I think I started recognizing him when I was a little over a year old.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, we got to have Brandon After on the show. Maybe we do it like a special Patreon.
He's on the show now.
Patreon interview. No, an interview talking about growing up in the wrestling.
Oh, okay.
He told me some stories at WrestleMania. I think a lot of people would be interested about who the people he's met, who came to his house, stuff like that. It's a very, very interesting story. So,
well, don't put him on the spot.
no, I'm sure he'll do it at a later date. But also, I was going to announce that we are going back on SoundCloud. Everybody, we are going to get on those Podcasts of the Year awards. God damn it! How our show?
Hey, PW Universe, you bite your words, pal. My dad ain't no porn star. I officially allow you to block him now.
He
sexually inappropriate. He's been reported for abuse.
We're gonna get on that awards list next year. So we're gonna start up on SoundCloud and eventually end up on iTunes. So you'll be able to listen to our wonderful voices also on iTunes. Getting that all set up. So SoundCloud probably will be up by next week. I'm gonna get all the audio taken care of, and we'll be live from SoundCloud next week. So
headquarters.
Yeah, so it'll be an whole new SoundCloud. It won't be the old one, like the last one. There'll be the different logo and all that stuff. So hopefully you guys will subscribe to us as well over there. And I think that's it. We're gonna wrap it up. Ended with some Hulk Hogan. Thank you. Oh wait,
I have one more thing.
Yes, Mr. Brandon.
The last thing to say on this podcast. Thank you, everybody, for joining the reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Wrestling Podcast. Get the tables!
Thank you for joining us, Mr. We got to get that damn recorded. We have to get that recorded and a sound bite here on the show. That has to happen in the future, definitely. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. You guys are freaking awesome. I can't believe you guys show us so much support. Over 1,000 viewers again tonight. Thank you again. Hope to see you guys on Saturday. Have a great Friday. Have a great work week, end of a work week. And enjoy Crown Jewel if you're watching it tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy some Hulk Hogan to end your night. Thanks, everyone. If I can find it. Where'd it go? Did I lose it? Oh, wait. No, I'm look. Where's the YouTube? Where's the sound? Where's the sound? Oh, God. Mess up.
Tony, you have failed this city.
We have failed it. We failed everyone. Oh, there it is. I found it. Oh, there's an advertisement. Ignore the advertisement. Ignore this ending.
You're an embarrassment.
This is embarrassing, everybody. Here it is, everybody. Sorry.
Embarrassing. That was embarrassing.